Good morning, students. Once again, I welcome you all on my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to study the second poem of Hornbil. The name of the poem is The Laburnum Top. The Laburnum Top is a poem written by Ted Hughes. Laburnum. Laburnum means a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. So, I will tell you briefly the summary of the poem. In the poem Laburnum Top, Ted Hughes gives us details of how he is watching a laburnum tree which houses a nest of a goldfinch. The poet is trying to convey a message to the readers that all life forms go through a series of transformations. The poem describes an afternoon in the month of September. There is no movement in the tree as there is no breeze. The leaves of the laburnum have turned yellow and its seeds have fallen. No sooner does a goldfinch suddenly land on a branch than it smoothly gets into the thickness of the tree. Its sudden abrupt and smooth movement is compared to that of a lizard. The goldfinch brings life to the silent laburnum tree. As she comes to feed her babies, they start chirping and trilling. She starts the engine of her nest because she feeds them, and the entire tree trembles with their sounds. The babies get all the required energy from the food and are strong and more vocal. When the goldfinch sits behind the flowers of the laburnum, the shadow on her face looks like she is wearing a mask that has bars on it. Then the goldfinch flies away towards the vast blue sky, and the tree again becomes motionless and still. Now I will give you line to line explanation. The laburnum top is silent, quiet, still. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. It is the afternoon of a day in September. So the poet here describes the laburnum tree. It is the afternoon of a day in September month. The sun is shining brightly. In the afternoon, the sun is shining brightly. The poet sees a laburnum tree bathed in the yellow sunlight. In the afternoon, the poet Ted Hughes he sees a laburnum tree bathed in the yellow sunlight. The top of the tree is all silent, quiet, still. A few of the laburnum leaves are yellowing due to the autumn season. The leaves of the laburnum trees are turning yellow. All its seeds have fallen to the ground. In the same way, due to the autumn season, all its seeds have fallen to the ground. The poet here draws a lovely picture of a laburnum tree as it appears on an autumn afternoon. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. The laburnum lies silent and still and quiet till a goldfinch comes there with a twitching chirrup. Twitching means jerky movement. So the silence of the laburnum tree is broken by the chirping of a goldfinch bird. Goldfinch means a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. So here the laburnum lies silent, still and quiet till a goldfinch bird comes there with a twitching, with a jerky movement and chirp. Chirp means start chirping. A suddenness and startlement at a branch end. Suddenness means suddenly and startlement means startlingly, strangely. So see, land suddenly and startlingly. The goldfinch, after arriving on the top of the laburnum tree, she lands suddenly and startlingly at the end of a branch. So here suddenness means unexpectedly, suddenly, and startle means strangely at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and machine starts up chittering. So here the poet Ted Hughes has compared the movement of a lizard with a goldfinch. So the goldfinch bird, after arriving suddenly and strangely at the end of the branch, the goldfinch bird moves smoothly. Sleek means here smoothly like a lizard, just like lizard moves smoothly on the tree. In the same way, the goldfinch bird moves smoothly from the end of the branch to the middle part, thickness of the tree. Then sleek as a lizard, then very smoothly like a lizard, the goldfish bird enters the thickness of the branches. Alert and abrupt. Alert and abrupt means very watchfulness, with watchfulness, and abruptly means quickly, suddenly. So the goldfinch bird, like a lizard, enters the thickness, the middle part of the branch of a tree, very with watchfulness, cautiously, and quickly. She enters abruptly and remains alert as lizard does. So goldfinch bird enters abruptly and remains alert, watchful, cautious as a lizard. At once the whole of her brood start chittering. So here, and a machine starts up chittering means when goldfinch bird, when she enters the thickness, at that time her young ones, the broods of the goldfinch, they starts chirping. They become so happy that they starts chirping. So no sooner does a goldfinch suddenly land on a branch than it smoothly gets into the thickness of the tree, and as she comes to feed her babies, they starts chirping and trilling. She starts the engine of her nest because she feeds them, and the entire tree starts trembling. So she enters the thickness, and a machine starts off chittering, and tremor of wings and trillings. So here the goldfinch bird, when the goldfinch bird enters the thickness of the tree, her young ones, the broods of goldfinch starts chirping and a tremor of wings. The young ones, they starts flapping their wings. The tremor means the sound of the flapping of the wings, and trilling. Trilling also means chirping. So here the poet, he talks about that how the young ones of the goldfinch, they react. They start chirping at the arrival of their mother because they were very hungry and they expected food from their mother. So here she starts the engine of her nest. Machine here means the goldfinch starts engine of her nest by feeding the young ones. The whole tree trembles and thrills. The whole tree. So there is a tremor of wings. Sweet trillings are heard. So when the goldfinch bird starts feeding the young ones, the whole tree starts trembling with there is a tremor of wings. Sweet trillings, sweet chirpings are heard. Sweet chirping, sweetness, there is a sweetness in the chirping of the young ones as the goldfinch, the mother, arrive to feed them. The whole tree comes alive and starts trembling. The whole tree trembles, the whole tree starts trembling, shaking, and thrills, excites. So here the babies get all the required energy from the food, and the entire tree trembles with their sound. So the babies gets all required energy from the food, and they are strong and become more vocal. So here the poet Ted Hughes, He talks about how the young ones they come to life. Not only the young ones, the brood of goldfinch they comes to life, but also the laburnum tree, which was silent, quiet in the autumn afternoon, suddenly comes to life. So goldfinch brings life to the laburnum tree. So the whole tree comes alive and starts trembling with the thrill of pleasure. The young ones of the goldfinch, they start trembling with the thrill of pleasure. They make the tree tremble with the thrill of pleasure. It is the engine of her family. So it is the young ones in the goldfinch family who had started up their chittering and trilling at the arrival of their mother. So the young ones of the goldfinch bird, with the arrival of their mother, they were so happy that they started chittering and trilling, means chirping. They started chirping at the arrival of their mother. The mother feeds them all to their field. So the mother, here the goldfish bird is compared with the engine of her family. So here the goldfinch is compared with the engine of her family, because the engine is a source of energy to run a machine, and the goldfinch is also a source of energy for her family. She feeds her young ones to the field. So, in this way, the poet has evoked the image of the engine to draw the comparison. It is the engine of her family, means the goldfinch is the engine of her family because she feeds the young ones. She stocks it full. She feeds them to fill, then flirts out to a branch end. Flirts out means here, after feeding the young ones, she skipped out to the end of a branch. So the mother feeds them all to their fill, then she comes out skipping to the end of the branch, showing her bad face identity mask. Showing her bad face identity mask. Here the poet has used the phrase bad face identity mask. So here the face of the goldfinch is partially covered. Bad means covered with the strange cluster of laburnum flowers hanging from the branches, and this serves as her identity mask as she has become a part of the laburnum tree. So here the poet Ted Hughes has used the phrase her bad face identity mask, which stands for the laburnum flowers that falls like bars. When the goldfinch sits behind the flowers, the shadow on her face looks like she is wearing mask that has bars on it. The poet has used a poetic device called transfer epithet. The adjective bad has been transferred from the flowers to the bird, which is associated with it. Then, with airy, delicate whistle, chirrup, whispering, she launches away towards infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So, after having fed her young ones, the goldfinch comes out of the tree and flies away into the infinite sky. Then, with airy here means frightening, delicate, whistle chirrup, whispering. So, after feeding the young ones with airy, very fearfully, so goldfinch, after feeding the young ones very sadly, it makes a sad, delicate whistle chirrup as it flies away. The goldfinch bird, the mother, makes sad, delicate whistle chirrup as it flies away, because the goldfinch, after feeding the young ones, she leaves the young ones alone in the laburnum tree. So the mother goldfinch feels very sad and she expresses her sadness with a delicate whistling chirps as she flies away. So airy means very frighteningly. She was very fearful, leaving her young ones alone. So then with airy, delicate whistle, chirp, whispering, the mother makes sad, delicate whistling chirps as it flies away. She launches away. Launches away means the goldfinch bird flies away towards the infinite sky. The goldfinch bird, she flies away into the infinite sky, vast sky, and Laburnum subsides to empty. So then the goldfinch flies away towards the vast blue sky, and the tree again becomes motionless and still. So, in this way, we observed that the beginning and the ending of the poem present the same scene. The laburnum top is all silent and still at the beginning, and towards the end of the poem too, there is no movement in the tree after the departure of the goldfinch bird. The laburnum tree becomes quiet, still, and silent.